Just making sure we're good there. All right. Okay. Can everyone see that? Thumbs up. We're good. Hopefully. Yeah. Okay. So sorry, I pushed the wrong button that said that I had to admit people. So I'm just praying that it comes up and that I see them and then I can admit them. So anyways, welcome to our presentation. If you were on the lights last night at Light Night, I sure hope that you enjoyed them and that you feel good and that your sleep last night was amazing. If not, if you're joining us for some other reason, I hope that you're using lights and love them. And if you've never used lights and you're listening to this, then it's time to try them. You're gonna just want to right after you hear this. So I'm just gonna get started here by telling you why I even came to know the lights or even bought them is probably a few of you have heard me talk about that I had a broken foot. It's called an avulsion fracture where the tendon pulls the bone off. So there's really no like fixing it. You kind of just, luckily I didn't have to get surgery, but you kind of just have to wait for it to heal and scar tissue kind of develop around it. And I had been through crutches and the boot and was walking and in shoes and my foot just hurt all the time. I was in pain all the time. I was in pain if I wasn't walking, if I was walking, if I was trying to sleep, trying to lay on my side. It was the weirdest thing that my foot always hurt. And I remember being in a parking lot and I needed to go into Walmart, clear to the back of the store. And I remember sitting there going like, oh, it kind of reminded me when I was pregnant, you know, and you didn't want to walk to the back of the store. Anyways, and I was just like, my foot hurts so bad. I don't want to walk to the back of the store. And I just was going to cry because I'm a super active person, do triathlons, I run, I snow ski, like hiking. And I had been trying to shove my foot in my ski boot so I could ski. Like, how is this going to be the rest of my life? I have all these kids to do these fun things with, and I did not want that to happen. So my friend had told me about these lights. I haven't tried them, hadn't seen them. I have no idea what they are, but she's like, they'll totally help your foot. And we were in the throes of winter in February, and I was just like, oh my heck. You know, no light and sunlight and depressed. And anyways, so I was like, no, those are just probably like expensive and I don't want to deal with you trying to tell me to buy these lights. And so,
Corey?
Yes.
I think there's some people waiting to get in.
Thank you. I'm gonna go look. I don't know how to look. I'm so sorry. Okay, hang on. Thanks for telling me, Maddie. Hold the phone. Hold, please. Here we go. There is. Yes. Okay. How did you see that? Good job. Okay. Anyways, I just had she just called me, and in that moment of I have to get out of pain and I don't care what I have to do, I said, yes, mail them to me, whatever you have to do. I have never tried them or seen them. And she just mailed me the lights. I know, it's crazy. And I got them in the mail and I opened them up and put them on me. And I remember I said, what do I do? And she said, you know, put those ones on your eyes and one on your belly and one on your back. And I was thinking, how is this going to help my foot? But okay. And then I did it, and probably maybe some of you have the same experiences that I'm laying in the chair thinking, what just happened? I'm so relaxed. Like, I don't even know if I could lift my arm if I wanted to. And then I was like, okay. And then she said, move the pads to your foot. So I did and did it a few more minutes. And anyways, after I did that and realized like, this is bigger than my foot. Like, I'm trying these lights, I'm relaxed, I'm feeling good. So then I'm trying them on all my kids, my mom, my sister, we're like all doing them because I have to see what everyone else thinks, right? And I'm like, what in the world? This is amazing. Anyways, and I start to realize that why I'm just treating my foot when it's actually like a whole body thing. Anyways, I ended up buying the lights come about the beginning of March. And then in the middle of May that year, a couple months later, I ran a half marathon without pain in my foot. And I haven't quit talking about the lights since. So that's my story. That's why I have lights and I love them so much. I'm gonna move this. I love this doctor. His name is Dr. Jacob Lieberman. And he talks all about light. And this is one of his quotes, which I just love because this is so what we do as a Western society. He says, light is the basic component from which all life originates, develops, heals, and evolves. And you guys have you guys seen that video where the sperm and the egg, or when the egg is fertilized and there's a spark, right? When living starts, right there, that spark, that is light. It says this bright light for like, I think it's an hour and a half or a couple of hours, shines so bright when the egg is fertilized. So we originate in light. And he says there's no such thing as treating the body as separate collection of parts to be fixed when broken. Human beings are the embodiment of light. Our troubles and ills result from the inability to take in and use light as a launching pad from which to heal and evolve. So what he's saying is we need to take in light, use it as a launching pad to heal the whole body. Instead of just saying, my foot hurts, my foot hurts, my foot hurts, I've got to fix my foot. We need to think bigger, right? And I want you guys to think about if someone said, okay, you went to the doctor and he's like, I have this awesome pill. This is like the perfect pill. Everyone needs it. And these are the things you do, okay? So if you take this pill, it can increase circulation and relieve pain. Like if you have any of those things, muscle pain, joints, tendonitis, back pain, muscle spasms, neuropathy. I mean, who? Has anyone had these or know someone? Yes, of course. You're like, well, I'm intrigued, right? But what if he adds anti-aging effects, reducing fine lines and wrinkles, helps with depression, anxiety, can speed up your recovery after exercise? That's so awesome. It also increases nitric oxide, so it helps your body with sleep cycles, decreasing pain, killing bacteria, and there's no side effects. Like you can just take the pill every day and these things can happen. Like who in their right mind? I mean, I would pay a lot of money for that pill. You just take the pill. And I'm like, this is basically what we're saying that the lights do. These are those things that I listed in the beginning are actually FDA cleared for those things. So I don't know if you guys, we know the lights do a lot of things. I've experienced many more things than just help with these. But in order for the FDA to recognize and see that red and near infrared do this is a pretty amazing feat. You know, if any of you know what you have to go through to get that clearance, it's pretty crazy. So even the FDA recognizes the millions of science and studies behind all of this. And light therapy has been used forever, all over the world. Tons. I have 10,000 plus of research studies, but it's way more than that. So if you ever are reading a study or something comes up, some of the things that it'll say is it's low-level light therapy. Okay, it's different than laser a little bit. And photobiomodulation is just like applying light to the body to affect change. That's what that means. And then LED lights or light emitting diodes. So if you come across a study with any of those things in it, you'll know that's exactly what the lights are doing. Some of the studies that you read that they do with laser therapy, it's used with red light. So we can infer that it would probably help with the same things. Oh, I have those pictures there because blue light is what they put on babies, you know, when they have jaundice and they're trying to cleanse their liver. That is what they use is blue light. So if you've ever seen that or done that or had a child that has that. So these are the pads, as you can see in this picture, and they're called light emitting diodes. Each of those diodes, they're medical grade diodes, and it kind of evolved from lasers. So Harvard researchers found these advantages to using light emitting diodes. Now, the first one is awesome because if you have a laser, you have to, like, if it accidentally goes in the right place, I mean, you could go blind, you could burn up your thyroid. I mean, there's some very things that you don't want to happen with using a laser. So, and you don't have to worry about that with the LED lights. And anyone can use them. You can use them at home. You don't have to be a doctor. You don't have to be a therapist. Anybody can use them. And you have like the ability to put them on huge areas. Laser is this pinpoint, really strong, right to one place. So you have to do here, 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 you know, when you're using the laser therapy. When you have these LEDs, you can have this huge pad and like cover your whole back. And so you have these big areas and multiple tissue areas at once. And it can go right on your skin. You don't have to worry about putting it too close or burning or any, it's all safe to just put right on your skin. So even a baby can use it, right? And it's way more economical than lasers. So that's what's amazing about these LED lights that we love. Now, these are the lights that are in the pads. So let's just go through each of them. Red light, that red light's been around forever. It's the one that's most studied. It's red light's what you'll see in like tanning beds, or maybe at your gym. They have these red light beds, and red light is amazing, and it's super good for exercise recovery. So if you go to a gym and that's free, totally use it because it's awesome. It supports soft tissue health. It lowers inflammation, enhances circulation. It can even help with mood and definitely help with pain. And so that's pretty awesome. And then in addition to that, what our pads have is also blue light. So blue light is super calming, cleansing, it's anti-pathogenic. So that could be antibacterial, antiviral, antifungal. I don't know if anyone's dealing with candida issues, antibacterial, also helping with autoimmune. And it's really cleansing to the liver. So that's usually why we take that big blue pad and lay it on our stomachs and pull a little bit to the right to go ahead and cover the liver for cleansing there. Now the near infrared light, it'll go clear to the bone. It'll go through your skull. It'll go through large muscle masses, and it also relieves pain. It works a lot like red light. It just can go deeper into the skin. It helps with detoxification. It's really good on your teeth, your joints, your bones. That's why we love near infrared light. And then our new pad, my favorite one, green light. So it's a green pad about this big. I don't think it's in this picture. And it's because it is new within the last 6 months or so. And it's called the Green Soother. And why it has that name is just really soothing. So to help with pain, lower inflammation, it can also enhance immunity. And I have just found that green light, to me, I mean, I love green, it's my favorite color. And in the pad, it has near infrared and green, which I think is the happiest marriage of all time. So I don't think they'll ever get divorced. I love them so much. So that's one of my favorite pads for sure. I just wanted to show this graphic because it kind of helped you envision this awesome spectrum of light. So this was done on a cadaver skin. So knowing that, you can see that the light goes at these depths in your skin, like the top is your skin. So blue is really good for right there on top of the skin. And then green goes a little deeper, and then red goes a little deeper. And then you can see the near infrared goes clear through the muscle layer and to the bone. So as I was saying, this was done on a cadaver, how they found out what nanometers the lights are and what they touch. And so in Tori's brain, so take this for what it's worth, if this is done on a live person with blood flowing everywhere, I just feel like this spectrum is just awesome, and it takes all the lights and just takes them everywhere. So anyway, but this is for real, not Tori 101, done on a cadaver. So it's pretty awesome graphic to see. So we can receive light into our body 3 ways. We can get it right through our eyes, go straight to our brain. We can put it on our skin, okay? And then light is in quantum. That's just like in everything around us. So the sun, right, is all around us, and light is all around us. So those are the 3 ways that our body can take in light. So let's start with our eyes. If you go through your eyes, your pineal gland, if you can see on that picture on the right, it's right in the center of your brain, and it controls so many things. It's called our light meter, and it just helps us synchronize and be conscious of the world around us. So as we get older, that pineal gland gets all calcified just from aging and the things we're exposed to and what we do to ourselves. And shining light through the eyes goes straight to that pineal gland and actually decalcifies it. So one of the things I noticed when I got the light, I'm super sensitive to light. I get migraines. And so putting that lights over my eyes was really hard for me because I was so sensitive. So I actually started with it up here on my forehead. And it took a good while for me to be able to pull it all the way down over my eyes and keep it there the whole time. But I noticed once I could do that after a while that I would get in the car. I mean, sometimes I couldn't even sit in a room with bright sunlight coming through it without needing like sunglasses or doing this, you know. And I would notice like I got in the car and drove all the way to town, which town is 20 minutes for us, but I drove all the way to town and I'm like, what the heck? I didn't even put my sunglasses on. What is going on? So that was exciting to see. And that's how I knew that the lights were working on my pineal gland. So these are some of the other things: sleep cycles, mood, hormones, intuition, memory, consciousness. I mean, these are very, very important things that help our bodies. And our pineal gland is not something that we want calcified. We want it working and shining and doing all the things for our body that we need. So really cool. So we've heard this all before. Just disease is, if we're in ease and flow and everything's great, it's good. But if we put dis in front of it, we have disease. And they say 95% of all disease is caused by stress. So it would be awesome if none of us had stress. We would all be so healthy, right? But just getting up in the morning, there's stress of, did you get up on time? And then if you have kids and they're bugging you, or your cell phone and work and traffic and the car didn't start, and just all these things all day long. And if at any time you don't ever take your body out of that fight or flight stress, it's contributing for you to get disease. So just taking your body out of that response and reminding it, oh, this is relaxed. Then what's amazing about it is that your body can just do the healing. We're amazing beings. We came straight from God, perfect, and our bodies know what to do to heal us. So if we get in this relaxed state and our body is able to do the healing, that is way better than any drug, any manipulation from outside, or us even telling our body to do it. It's that's what it's meant to do. And so putting it in this relaxed state, they're like, oh, this is awesome. I guess I will go work on that, right? Darcy.
Hey, I just wanted to say, okay, so for those of you who don't really know me that well, I found light through another gal who found light through Tori. So Tori is like the light mom of all of us that live in this little area. And she's a dear friend of mine, and I appreciate her. It was so fun last night to see all of you at my new location in Rigby. I'm so excited, and I love her for helping me with that, and Maddie too. But I just wanted to share the reason that I found light was because I had been struggling with some really severe health challenges for almost a year. And I had been to 10 doctors over 11 months, and every one of them had just passed me to the next guy or put me on a pill or done a study or done a test or whatever. And pretty soon after 11 months, I still was sick. I was not able to care for my kids. I was pretty much just in bed all the time, or sitting on the couch watching and just thinking, man, is this my new normal? Is this how the rest of my life is going to be? Because I'm only 41 years old. I don't know that I can be a good mom doing this. Anyway, long story short, I was introduced to the lights, and I finally ended up back at my family practice doctor, and they diagnosed me with severe anxiety. And at first I thought, there's no way, there's got to be something actually wrong with me. That's not a real diagnosis. What are you guys talking about? But the more I thought about it, the more I had lived a very, very high stress, fight or flight, 24/7 for 20 years, just because that's how I'm wired. I'm just wired hot. I just go, 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 and I take care of everybody else and not myself, and it kind of finally caught up to me. So when I finally took the time to take care of me, and a lot of that was doing the lights twice a day, every day, and investing some time and funds into myself, I got better. And I feel better now as I'm 43 now. I hate to admit that, but I'm 43.
43 is awesome. What are you talking about?
Right, 43 trips around the sun. But I feel better now than I have ever felt in my entire life. And I had never realized at the time that I've struggled with anxiety since I was young, since I was probably preteen. But the lights have made such a huge difference emotionally for me, and to help me balance that fight or flight. I was struggling from really severe adrenal fatigue, and there's really nothing that some doctors don't even recognize adrenal fatigue as a real thing. So I was looking at all sorts of alternative things, and this was one of the biggest things that I did to help my body heal. And now it has helped my husband with his pain in his back. It's helped my son with his vision. It's helped my daughter with some anxiety things that got carried down from me to her. She's my oldest. And so we use them for everything. They're my very favorite wellness tool as a mom. I don't know what we would do without them, but I just wanted to interject that because stress really does take a huge toll on our body. And pretty soon our body can't handle it anymore. And so then it starts manifesting as physical symptoms, physical challenges, and it really does make a difference when we can make an effort and have a tool to take our body from that fight or flight place and put it in a state of relaxation like that. Like if you were there last night at our light night, most everybody that I visited with, that Tori and Maddie visited with, like people were like, wow, like within a couple minutes, I just felt like I was just in this place of Zen. And it's true. It's really, really true. That's what's so powerful about the lights, is that they can switch you from that fight or flight within minutes and your body appreciates that. It recognizes it. And it's like, oh, thank you for the break. Thank you for the rest. So I just wanted to make sure that people knew a little bit about my story, and that a lot of people that use the lights use them for physical things, but the emotional is just as important. And we need to make sure that we tie those two things together, because usually they're playing like this. So if one's out of balance, the other one's out of balance too. And so we need to get them all back in balance so that everything can play happy together.
Yes. Thank you, Darcy. I agree. I love Darcy's story. I have just so loved watching her get healthy and be able to share lights, and she's just glowing all the time because she is an awesome light sharer. She is a perfect example of something made me so happy and healthy and is helping me, and I want to tell the world about it. And so I love working with Darcy, and I really appreciate her sharing that, because I think it gets overused, and everyone's like, you say anything's wrong with you and they say, oh, you're too stressed, you should relax more. And people are like, yeah, I need to relax more, I should go on vacation. But then you take your kids on vacation and you're a mom and you're like, that was not relaxing. So I think we overuse the term, but this is what the lights do, is they are really taking your body out of that stress response so we don't get those physical manifestations. So yes, thank you so much for sharing. This is kind of just something of that, like if you get stressed and increase your heart rate and blood pressure, and then we know, right, that's risk for heart disease. Same with the hormones.
Sorry, one more thing. If anybody on here wants to unmute and ask a question, you guys are welcome to just raise your hand or shoot. Tori will see you, give a little reaction. So if you have questions as we go through this, don't hesitate to jump in. This is a group discussion. So if you guys think, oh my gosh, what, I have something to say, or you have a question, just jump in and we'll talk about it.
Thanks, Darcy. Yeah, for sure. Ask me a question. Stop me. I like to talk, but I can be stopped. Anyways,
I'm having trouble connecting to the internet.
Alexa.
Take a look at the help section in your Alexa app.
Alexa on level 10 for my kids. Okay, so so I'll try not to say her name. Okay, so then in the middle you can see stress hormones, work on your immune system, lowering your immune system, and then the all favorite one, the disruption of your digestive system. We just all love that, right? Constipation, diarrhea, just heartburn, all of those things. And then that just increase your risk for disease. So one thing about the lights that we don't talk about, because lights are getting so prevalent in our world because there's so many awesome studies and people are starting to say, oh my heck, what is this about? Lights can do all these things. What is awesome is that we have harmonic lights in these pads. And what that means is the lights shine at different frequencies. So there was a study just recently, a while back, I think it was Harvard, maybe it was MIT, Harvard. They were doing a study on dementia, Alzheimer's or something. And they did this thing where they took light and they pulsed it at 40 hertz. So it was pulsing at 40 hertz per second is what that means. And they were looking at it. And they found these amazing results with people with dementia and Alzheimer's. So there's a million more examples I could give, but what I'm just telling you is that frequencies have been studied for years. And so when it goes through these set of frequencies, it puts you in this meditative state. And so I don't know about you, but has anyone sat on the floor and listened to meditation music? I'm getting way better at it. I am. But I was terrible when I first started doing the lights. I can sit there for 3 seconds and then I'm like, oh, the grocery list, don't forget to do this. Oh my heck, I have to pick up someone at 3, right? That's what your brain does. But when you get the lights on, it just does it for you. You don't have to think about it. So I call it meditation for dummies, because this is just like the easy way, the shortcut, the cliff notes, right? So the other way to get light into us is through our skin. So we can kind of think of the lights as like a battery, because our cells, the ATP in our cells is what we need for the energy of the cell, right? And so photons actually increase the production 150%. Our cells love light. When you put light on cells, then instead of these droopy as we get older and cells start to replicate, right? And they're aged and droopy and sad, and those are all scientific terms. What the lights do is help us have these healthy cells, and then we're replicating all these nice healthy cells instead of our sad ones that were going before. So that is what light can do. I really love light. I have all these little athletes in my family, and we love them for muscle recovery before and after, working out and practice, injury recovery. We've had our fair shares of broken bones and pulled muscles and this is and that's, and also improved endurance. We had a really cool thing with my daughter about a couple years ago. She runs cross country. And so, as you know, that's like a super hard sport. And we read this study that when you put lights on your body, your oxygen level and your muscles that are at their finest, there's a peak, right? And we figured it was about 3 to 4 hours after doing the lights. So we would time, we're homeschooled, so we could do this. She would have her cross country meet, and we would time it out when we thought she was gonna run, and we'd move back and do the lights right then for her to have this. She noticed her muscles, when you start running and your muscles do this, she didn't have that because she had all this oxygen. She was able to breathe better, her muscles worked better, and she was able to run better. She says like this secret drug, right? And so it was awesome for us to be able to do that and see those results. So we love it for athletes and exercise. And since she is an athlete and my other kids, I always have all their friends over. Everyone that has a concussion has got to come over and do the lights. So they're trying to get back on the field, right? So we have been loving it for all those reasons for that. Now, one thing that the lights do is nitric oxide, which it's kind of a buzzword these days. It's actually the signaling molecule that tells your vessels to dilate and to increase blood flow. And so these are some of the things that happen when, it's in the roles, or why we have nitric oxide, or these are some of the things for, decreasing pain, lowering blood pressure, all of these things, increasing lymphatic activity. So our lymphs don't have, there's no way for us to move lymph through our body. So if it starts collecting in an area, then when we increase blood flow, it starts hitting up against that, right? And then we can get all of the lymph out. And it just keeps everything clean and nice. And then that's how you can avoid being sick or any of these other things here listed. Sorry, I forgot to warn you, this picture's gross, so if you don't want to see it, take the video off for a minute. But I wanted to show these pictures. There's two, for the skin, there's two really fun stories. Well, I think they're fun. This one on the left is a diabetic foot wound, and he's a diabetic and stepped on something and got a wound. And as you know, with a diabetic, he's an older man, and with a diabetic, that they don't get good circulation to their feet, and they take a long time to heal wounds. So they had done everything, antibiotics, hyperbaric chambers, blah, 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 salves, everything you can think of. And that top picture is after 8 months of this sort of medical care. And so this is my friend's neighbor. So he finally was like, she's like, you should try these lights. And then that bottom picture is after using the lights for 8 weeks. Now, who wants to keep going to doctors? Can you imagine the money spent in 8 months of trying to heal a wound like that? Wound care, antibiotics, hospital, all of that for 8 months, and then just 8 weeks on the light therapy. It's pretty amazing. So that's a really cool story. I love it. This other one is my friend. She did this thing, I won't explain why, but you walk for 50 miles. And so, as you can imagine, if you walked for 50 miles on your feet, so you can see on that bottom picture how the blister is just starting on her heel. What ended up happening is everywhere where her foot is white, her skin just came off, like her entire foot, skin off. It was so gross. Anyways, and so she just had all this raw, tender skin. She was told, don't put on shoes, you can get infection. And what she did was, Well, she used the good Lord. She prayed, right? And she was led to put coconut oil all over her feet and come and use my lights a couple times a day for a couple of days. She just let herself in. She knows how to use them. And she was playing softball in cleats, running after 9 days. They told her it would take months for her feet to heal. No infection, nothing. So a good dose of coconut oil, the lights, and a prayer to God. And look at that. Isn't that so fun? I know that God has to use real ways to heal us, right? To give us miracles. And I believe, and she told me this also, that the lights did that for her. So there you go. An awesome thing if you use oils, there was this really cool study with blue light. I think it's with all of the light, in my opinion, but this particular study, they use blue light, and they says it enhances the innate antimicrobial activity of the oil. So basically what it's saying is it just makes the oils work better. And if you apply light, like if you have oil on and you apply light, it penetrates the oils deeper into the skin and the body, right? And pretty much I've noticed with anything, supplements, any sort of anything else you're doing to your body, the lights just are so friendly and they play nice with everyone, is they just enhance whatever you're doing. So that's why I tell people that are on blood pressure medication or type 2 diabetics and stuff, if they're using lights continuously, they really need to monitor that, because people have gone off their blood pressure medication eventually, with their doctor's help. Some people that didn't want to go on, they have type 2 diabetes and didn't want to go on insulin, were able to not have to do that by using the lights. So just all that stuff plays well together. And I'm a big essential oils fan, so I love this study. Also the brain. So near infrared light and red light on the brain is amazing. The near infrared applied right here will go through your skull. And then of course, if we have lights on our eyes, that's how we get light to the brain. And there's been some really cool studies with traumatic brain injury and even more beyond, when people have seasonal, affective disorder, and they say, oh, you just buy these lights and sit in front of them all day, right? This says that helps with this too, but it's saying it goes beyond non-seasonal depression, helping with sleep disorders, treating, ADD and hyperactivity and dementia. So, and also just this week, I have this dear friend, her name's Sean, and she has her granddaughter, and she has shaken baby, so her brain. And she says she's never, her whole life, she's older, 12, 13, she has never slept more than 6 hours at a time. So you can imagine the getting up in the night, the getting up at 4 a.m. and all of that. And she's not only sleeping, she's sleeping long, like till 9 or 10. And she's like, I feel amazing. She feels amazing. And so light on the brain can do amazing, awesome things. Also for skin, I know, as we talked about getting older and we're, looking at our fine lines and wrinkles. Red light is super good for that, and near infrared. So it just goes through these things, stimulates collagen, which not only on where you can see in the skin, but even your organs. It just keeps them plump and, viable. They don't get brittle, and they don't sag. They're just holding all your organs in place. So collagen is very important, even where you're not looking at your face. Just repairs and regenerates skin cells. And then if you combine red light with the blue light, you can kill bacteria. If you have any sort of something going on with bacteria on your face, the blue light can help with that. So combining the red and the blue light, which is our Lumi Clear Mask, you can have awesome results. And this doctor with the Skin Cancer Foundation, he recommended, if you want to stop or help reverse some sun damage on your skin, he recommends an LED light to reduce that. So pretty cool stuff. So how I was talking about earlier with the harmonics of lights, there's this Dr. Noje, and he was back, studied years and years ago, 40, 50 years ago. He was studying this. He was a scientist, but he was also a musician. I don't know, I can't say that. He's into music. Anyway, so he noticed that these vibrations or frequencies, he noticed that if you have like damaged tissue or organ or something, and you expose it to the frequency that it should be, then healing occurs. And not only does healing occur, but sometimes quite rapidly. So that's where these were born. These 7 frequencies were born. They're called the Noget frequencies, and they're recognized widely by a lot of people as helping these things. So the settings 1 through 7 on the lights are these frequencies, and it just stays on that frequency for 20 minutes. And when I first bought the lights, I told you how I I did like a relaxation setting. So I did that. And then I would put my a few minutes on 2, 5, and 7 after that. And that's what I did when I was using my lights. Darcy, did you put your hand up?
Yeah, I just wanted to say that, so I am a musician, in case you didn't see the guitar.
You can say it. Good job.
I know, I've played guitar and piano for probably pretty much my whole life, but that's one of the reasons I love these lights so much, is because if you picture, you know, I'm sure most of you have heard an out of tune piano or an out of tune vocal or an out of tune anything, and your body is the same. When your body is out of tune, then that's when we have sickness and illness and health challenges and all these other things. And what these lights do is match the frequency that your body should be. And then it's like a tuning fork, or like any kind of tuning mechanism. You know, the lights bring your body, and the lights meet your body at the right frequency and bring you back into tune. And it's amazing to feel that when you're out of tune and then you are brought back in tune. And I think that that's one of the reasons I love these. I mean, I love them for a million reasons, but that's one of the reasons I love them, is because that musician part that's built into me. I just love that. And sometimes I think most of you guys have used them, maybe not even just last night, but several times. Sometimes you can actually hear it. Sometimes if you're on a specific setting, like for me on setting 7, I hear a sound, I hear a change of frequency. And not everybody hears them, but some people do. And that's why, because it is vibrating at a different frequency, resonating with your body at a different level. And it's really awesome. I'm kind of a geek when it comes to science stuff, but it's so fun. It's been so fun to learn a lot about this. And the Noget frequencies have been really amazing because of the musical part that goes with it.
Yes, Darcy, thanks for adding that, because I'm the opposite of a musician. And so I can hear when something's out of tune, though. I definitely can hear that. And you don't want your body to be out of tune either. So when you recognize that that is all in one and the same, it's pretty awesome. So these 1 through 7 settings, they're recognized throughout the world. I mean, these are these 1 through 7, they're on all of our systems, the handheld, the flex, the grow, the pro. You get all of these frequencies on anything with our systems. And then also the other 3 that you get are A, B, and C. So you'll notice on this, when you look at setting 2, it's 147 hertz, and it's just one frequency. And so that's just going to stay on that the whole time. But what we call a sweep is when you go, like if you put it on A, it goes through all those frequencies. So it starts at 1 and does that frequency for a few minutes, and then it goes to the next one and the next one. So you get this nice set of lovely frequencies over the course of your 20-minute or 30-minute session. So setting A just goes 1 through 7. So it just goes 1, 2, 3, on those that we just looked at, it does all those. Setting B is kind of an emotional balance, spiritual tuning, de-stress, kind of a calming one. And then C is more of a rejuvenating, it has lots of frequencies that are harmonies of nature, 432 hertz. And so B and C are awesome. We call them relaxation settings. So you want to get your body relaxed before you start thinking, let's work on my knee, let's work on my eye, I've got this wrist hurting. You want to get the body in a relaxed state. So B and C is what we call relaxation settings. Now, if you look at this, these are the settings that setting B goes through. And these are the frequencies. So if you kind of look through that, you can see, oh, that's pretty awesome. Reduce pain, turn grief into joy, facilitate change, solve and clean, awake perfect state. Like, these are awesome things. So this is what the frequencies that go through when you sit for 20 minutes on B. So I don't know about you, but I'm happy to expose my body to that once a day, right? I think you will have a much better day. And then, so this is the Flex 3. So this is what I wanted to say is in this little thing that will have the 1 through 7 and the A, B, and C in this little machine. And you can plug 3 pads into it. You can also get those settings with the handheld and the Grow, but we can talk about that later. So the other thing is if you want to have more frequencies and settings and customizable, which most people do, let's be honest. This is what the controller looks like, and you can have, it has 99 settings on it. So they'll all have 1 through 7 and ABC like we talked about. But then 11 through 99 will be a big sweep of frequencies. So these are some of the examples of things that you can put on there. If it has a little line, that just means that it can be put on your controller, but it isn't yet. But the awesome thing is that you can just plug it into your computer and redo it and put anything on there. Or if you get like this awesome frequency, like I love frequency 432 or the frequency 528 I want for 15 minutes, I can customize that and change 17 to be Tori's awesome setting. And then I just put it on 17. So it's totally customizable like that. Darcy.
Yes, I was just going to say, on this was a gift when I got my lights because it has a setting for adrenal stress support. So when I was struggling with adrenal fatigue so badly, I was drawn to that setting, and it's still one of my favorites. I love it, love it, love it. And it's done amazing things. I've seen there's a setting for inflammation, and I've used that a lot on my dancer. I have a 14-year-old that's on high school drill team. She's been on competitive dance teams, and we've used that a ton for muscle and just overall athlete, like Tori was talking about. There's lots of different settings. I could tell you a million stories about people that I've used different settings on, but this setting list is amazing. There are so many, and they get really specific. So usually what we'll do, I actually do sessions in a practice setting. And so what I always do is give people the opportunity to do a B or C, to relax their body and get it in a place where it's ready to receive healing through these other specified settings. But then you've got all these other settings that you can help specific areas. And that's the beautiful thing about this specific controller. And most of you that were there last night, that was one of the controllers we were using, and it's awesome. We love it a lot.
Yes, thanks, Darcy. I know we all have our favorites, right? Like, who wouldn't want 16 instant vacation? I did that one last night. I was like, I need to go right to sleep when I got home from doing lights on everybody, which was so fun. I love doing it. But a lot of times, like 85 for pain support, that's for like joints and muscles. And if I'm like my neck and back and everything is really tight, that's a good one for that. I really love the 96, the hormone balance. That's an awesome one. You've got hormones raging or PMS or any of that. The hormone balance is a really nice one. And then 24 for colds and flu. We use that a ton through the winter when everybody's got a cold. If you just get the tinge, the little scratchy throat, you get right on the lights and do that faithfully a couple times a day, you can get the sniffles instead of the full-on flu in bed, right? We would much rather just have a few sniffle and get on with it. So we've really loved it for that. Another thing is if you're a mom and like just energy in the room, my kids are fighting or it's crazy, or sometimes I'll just go set the pads up and put it on 27. We'll just like clear the energy out. Or if someone's had a toxic day and they're coming home and telling us all about it, we're like, let's just go ahead and clear that out. So the possibilities are endless here, as you can see. What I wanted to show you is these are the same frequencies that I was just showing you, but like, let's pick number 16, for example. It shows you right there. It goes through the frequencies. It starts at 120 and it goes to 432, one of my favorites, and 5,000, and then ends in 9999. And I do that before bed because the higher the frequency, usually the more sedating. So if it ends in one of those high frequencies, like setting 11 or 16, like the Insomni one, 19, you'll know that's a good one to choose before bed because you'll be sedated. But that's just what's so amazing is that they have all these options and go through all these frequencies, and you can really customize it to your family and your needs. So we really love that about this. And that comes, this is the Grow I talked about. This will only have the 10 settings, but it's called the Grow because you can actually pay to upgrade it. So you'll still have that. Back in the day when I bought mine, I just bought this little one and I just had it for like 6 months and I'm like, I need more settings. I'm so sad I didn't buy the big one. And so if I had had the opportunity to get this one, I could have just upgraded at that time instead of buying a whole new system, which I did. And a few more times after that. We've got one in the living room, one downstairs, one in my bedroom, because we need everybody in the house to have lights easily. So anyways, that's the Grow. A little bit about distance sessions. Some people are like, what are you talking about? But we know that light doesn't stop. Like you can send light. We call this a light prayer. So you can set up the lights and put someone's name on there. And I even tell them to lay down, put headphones on, listen to the meditation, imagine the lights come in your body. And if you were to tell me this a couple of years ago, I would be like, that's great. But I've had so many cool experiences with people feeling the lights that I know it works. So if you're not able to get to lights and you want to experience them, you can call anyone that has them and ask them to send you the lights. It's pretty cool. So let's say you listen to all this and you're like, okay, I want to keep trying lights. You can either just, whoever introduce you to lights, you can keep going to them for sessions if they'll do it. And Darcy has it, in her clinic. Or you're like, I want to get these in my house because when I did the lights and I was laying there, I actually want to be in my bed. Think about how relaxed you were sitting there with the lights, and then just think you just throw them off and go to sleep. And then in the morning, I usually set my alarm for just a little bit earlier than I need to get up. And I just pull them on and do them in the morning. Do a really invigorating one, listen to a meditation. And my day goes so much better, especially if I didn't get enough sleep. I'm more awake than if you just do the roll out of bed and you're like, I don't want to do today and I can't do this. Okay, you wake up feeling like that, but do the lights and then that's over. So if you want to try them in your house, I highly recommend doing the Pro 6 trial because you don't have to buy what you try, but then if you were going to use those. I was just so sad that happened to me that I only had those. I didn't even really know what the other one was. And so, but you can always just buy the other one. So that's my recommendation. And of course, I always recommend get those lights in your house and try them out. Try them on all your family, bring in your neighbors and your friends, right, Darcy?
I was going to say, yeah, this company is amazing because they offer try before you buy, where can you go and try it for 2 weeks and then decide if you want to buy it. And if you decide you don't want to buy it, you send it back. Like, it's awesome. They really put a lot of thought into this. They've made it so that people can get them in their home, use them a couple times a day on themselves, use them on everybody else that they want to. And the trial really does have a lot of value. So if that feels like something that you want to do, I have done it. Maddie's done sessions with me. Tori did. I mean, we've all done it a different way, but it's awesome. There's so many ways to try the lights, and the company really works hard to make it so that it's easily accessible for anybody who wants them.
Yeah, there's no catch.
Right, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I started doing lights back in December, January sometime, and I went to Darcy. I had Darcy's daughter. I'm the ag teacher at the middle school, and I had Darcy's daughter in my class and was one of my FBA officers. And I just saw all the stuff she was posting, and I was just like in a very, like, mental health wise, not in a good place. And so I texted her and I was like, I don't know what it is that you do, but I need something to try. And so I went to Darcy and I went there for 6 months, and like the last few months she's like, you should really get some for your house. You should get some for your house. And then finally she was like, you're spending more money coming and seeing me than you are just getting these for your house. So they are awesome. 100% love them.
Yes.
I've seen a huge change in Maddie. Like, it is amazing. It's amazing when you watch people and you can leave them better than you found them. That's one of the beautiful services that this offers. For me, for Tori, for Maddie, she's going to start sharing lights with others. And it's hard to not share with people. Most of the time when people do a trial or they come and see me for a session, they want to share with people because we want everybody to feel better. You know, that's just how we are built, especially as women. We're nurturers. We want to make people feel better. So yes, they are an amazing gift to share with anybody you know that is struggling with any kind of anything, which most everybody has something. They've got a something that they need they need some help with. So yes, and we're so excited for Maddie because she just bought her lights, and she had came and helped us last night with our light night, and she had just gotten her lights yesterday and then got to finally use them last night. So we're so excited for her.
I am so happy for Maddie. And that's just, everybody's journey is different. So it's just however you come into the lights. But there is until the end of June. So I don't know what's today, June 19th. It is $25 off any of these systems. So whichever one you pick, it would be $25 off till the end of June. So if you decide to try out the lights and you want to do the Pro 6, it would just be $325. And the systems are, like I said, the Flex system and the Grow system just have the 1 through 7 and ABC settings. And then the Pro 6 obviously would have the 99 settings, and it comes with 4 pads, where the Grow comes with 3 and the Flex with 2. And like I said before, I would highly recommend, if you're gonna do a trial, just do the Pro 6. Some people will switch out the Pain Buster for the Green Soother, which is awesome. You know how much I love the Green Soother.
I do too. And we can help you with that. If that sounds overwhelming, just touch base with whoever invited you last night or whoever you're in contact with for the lights right now. Because I've got a few people on here that are already on trials.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, just reach out and let us know. And the other thing that is amazing with your trial is it comes with support from one of us. So you get our personal cell phone number, and we're on speed dial anytime you need help. You get training and education to use them. So it's not like going to Sam's Club and buying it off the shelf and then being like, okay, I don't know how to use this, but I'm going to figure it out. You got a lot of help, and we love to help with people that are doing trials. So yes, reach out to one of us and we can figure out the system that's going to fit you better. Or if you want to do sessions, I'm happy to do sessions. I do sessions in Rigby. So if you're close to that and you want to come do a session, that I think you guys all that were there last night, all got business cards from one of us. So just reach out and we'll help you figure out what the best way to do lights for you is and your family.
Yes. Does anyone have questions? I don't want to keep anyone longer than an hour. I think that's plenty of time. I'm trying to see who's on here.
One other thing that we would maybe just touch on a little bit, and if you want more information on this, we can give it, but there is an income opportunity with these lights, and it's an amazing opportunity for stay-at-home moms. Maddie actually is going to have a baby soon. And so, sorry, my Zoom is doing something crazy. Maddie's going to have a baby soon. And so she's actually decided to be a stay-at-home mom. And so it's a really neat opportunity to have an income that comes from just sharing your love of lights. And it has been amazing for me. It's been amazing for Tori. We've both had really neat experiences with that. And so if that's something you're interested in, reach out to us. It doesn't require you to keep volume at your house or any of that kind of stuff. You don't have to have a million people under you. It's a really very straightforward, very, I don't even know what to say. It's just
easy.
Yes, it's easy.
Like the epitome of just like, you like a product, you share it with someone, they buy it, and you get a little bit of the commission referral. So it's just super simple. And I didn't buy lights thinking I'm going to make $1 million. I didn't even know you could sell them. I had no idea. I just wanted the lights. But then after a while, I'm noticing that, I told my mom about them. She bought them. Then I told my sister about them. She bought them. And then I was like telling all my friends. And then I was telling all these people, and I'm getting these checks. And I think, wow, this is pretty awesome.
And it helps you reimburse, it helps pay for your own lights. That helps you. That's your only purpose, is to help, just share with other people so that they can have the same gift. The commission plan is awesome. They've put a lot of thought into it, and I feel like you were well rewarded for what effort you put in. So just as a side note, if that is interesting to any of you, reach out because we can give you some information on that too.
Yeah, and I will tell you that so when I bought the lights, I didn't have the cash just sitting around. So I just got a credit card that was like 18 months, same as cash. And there's some awesome ones right now. And then after I started sharing lights, I was actually able to pay off my lights with the commissions I earned in 18 months. So that's another way to look at it if you're looking at the price of this thinking there's no way And someone said to me the other day, you mean other people spend this much money on these things as they're buying them themselves? You know what I mean? And I'm like, yes, a lot of people do. In fact, I think I've counted the other day, around 100 people on my team under me that I've sold to or that they've sold to. So, and just, really actively only in a couple years. So there are people that want them. And I know the whole world needs them. Not everyone wants to buy them, but the whole world does need light. And I think they're amazing. And I think that they will help your well-being, and they're my favorite wellness tool that I have. So I want to make sure no one has any questions before we get off.
Don't be shy, because if you have the question, somebody else probably does. I sound like a teacher, right? If you have a question, I'm sure somebody else is thinking the same thing.
Yeah. And if you guys are on Facebook or Instagram, so I'm MillCreek Wellness and Darcy is the Light Mama. And if you want to follow there, we always put what the specials are, or what's going on, or if we have a cool story. So if you want to just follow those, you can. Mary, do you have a question?
I had a question.
Yes, ma'am.
Are there any studies for fibromyalgia?
I don't know of any specifically. I can totally look. There might be, but fibromyalgia sort of runs along the line like an autoimmune, correct?
Yeah, and I think it has something to do with nerve stuff too. I'm not too familiar with it. As I was listening to this, I just wondered if it would be helpful to someone I know.
Yeah, well, absolutely, because autoimmune is just your immune system in this revved up state, right? And it's just doing more than it should. And then also the nerves. So when you increase the blood flow and the circulation, that also helps the nerves, right? And it just calms them all down. So what's happening is the nerves and the autoimmune are just revved up and doing more and causing more damage instead of good. And it just puts the body in the relaxed state. So I can find a research study, but just knowing how fibromyalgia works and the lights work, I will tell you that yes, they could definitely find relief from using the lights.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Anyone else? You're all so quiet.
We really appreciate you guys all coming and spending an hour this morning. I know sometimes daytime stuff is tough for moms, especially working moms and everybody else. So thanks for coming. Thanks for coming.
Thank you.
Thanks for helping us share lights. Thanks for touching base with us, and we appreciate you all. And if you have questions, reach out. We're happy to help you however we can.
Yes. Goodbye. Have a great weekend, everybody.
Have an awesome weekend.
Thank you. Bye-bye.